How was the move to the new spot though? Was it smooth?
It like it was and it wasn't at the same time, because bro, I know you know that space was mad small, but there was mad shit in that spot. But no, so I had somebody help me move like all the furniture in one day. So I really just did it day by day. Like, you know, I took the computer and the speakers one day, and I took all the furniture the next day, and then some of the artwork the next day. So I broke it up over a week, because I had the last week of February to move all my shit in, and then my lease started March 1st. So like I had, you know, some time. But man, we in here. We're in here now.
So what would you say is the biggest difference between here and there?
Obviously, like the size, you know, it's 3 times bigger than the last studio. But this was built like a studio, and the old spot was like an office space. So the acoustics and like how sound travels in this room is so much better for recording in there, mixing out here. So when I'm doing my stuff, I can hear a difference from this spot versus the last spot. So it's made mixes better, it's made recordings better, so like songs are coming out better. You know what I mean? And that's what people come to the studio for.
I done got me a state of mind. Now I'm just feeling like the world mine.
I'm Chase. I'm just a dude, you know, who lives in Manchester, who makes music, who's been blessed with the opportunity to run a studio. So yeah, I engineer, I produce, mix, master, anything to do with music that's not recording myself, I'm gonna do.
Well, speaking on that, has there ever been a moment where you wanted to make music or record?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it, because I've been in the studio world 5 years now. Yeah. So obviously, like, you know, people come into the studio with beats that I like, and I'm like, I don't even know how to approach this. Right. And I think when I make beats, I can always like hear like a cadence or a flow in my head, but I don't have the vocabulary to be sitting here writing songs. Like I'm structuring them, like this is not for me. I really like being behind the scenes, and just helping other people achieve their music goals.
Was there ever like a song you engineered for someone else that you wanted to hop on?
There was one time really early on, this is in my first year, somebody had done a song, and we ran out of time in the session. So it was only lead vocals, there was no layers, there was no ad-libs or anything. And I went and did ad-libs on the song, but that was it. You know what I mean? I just went and did some oohs and ahs in the back.
How was that?
It was fun, but it's not for me. It's also a challenge to record yourself, like in a studio environment. Because if you're at home and you got the mic right next to your laptop, it's just real easy to punch yourself in. But, you know, hitting record out here and then running back in there to do the shit, then you fuck up, then you got to come back out here and start it over. No, it's not for me.
Yeah, that sounds like a process.
It's not for me.
What initially brought you to engineering? Was there like a moment or an artist?
It wasn't like an artist per se, but so when I started the last spot, I was a producer only. And my man's Ty was the engineer. So I would just watch him record and mix sessions. And I remember there was a time where he essentially like threw me into a session, which worked out so well for me because I had to figure out the lingo. I had to figure out, you know, what the artist needs and how to record essentially, because I thought it would be easier than it is. But yeah, it really just took just threw me in the deep end and I figured it out. And it's important, you know, to struggle through the things that you want, because if you don't learn how to not do something, you'll never know how to like really do it, you know? So that was like a big moment for me.
So what was your first studio session like? Were you nervous?
Yo, I was nervous as fuck, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. So the thing is, like, I've been making beats for years. Like at this point, I've probably been making beats 5 years. So I knew EQ, I knew compression and reverb and things like that, but I knew how to do it to a beat. And now I'm working with vocals and like, you know, you can't drown out vocals and verb and do all these crazy moves. So I remember I was at the computer trying to figure it out, and bro was just standing over my shoulder just watching me, and he was like, "You sure you want to do that? What does that knob do? Let's try that." And the imposter syndrome was so real because I didn't know what I was doing. But again, that uncomfortableness like forces you to get better. So yeah, again, like I credit a lot of my drive to learn and figure stuff out from that session. And bro was cool about it. Like he knew I was new and like didn't give me a hard time, but you know how it is when you don't know what you're doing and somebody's standing right over your shoulder.
Yeah, it's like fake it till you make it sometimes.
That's literally what I was doing in that session, I swear to God.
Do you feel like engineers get enough credit?
Yes and no. I mean, I think a lot of artists that I work with understand the importance of a good engineer and the importance of a good mix and master. Mm-hmm. But like in the industry and like in the general public, like people don't know what engineers do. Yeah. Like, oh, you fuck with the soundboard and that's what you do? But they have no idea what it entails. But I heard this thing that I don't remember who said it, but it was an engineer who said it. And he said, a good mix can make a bad song better, and a bad mix can ruin a great song. So that really stuck with me. It's like how important it is. Like, bro, that's the last step. You know, you make a beat, you write a song, you record it, but that's not enough. You know, it's got to sound right. When we take it to the club, is it knocking? When we take it to the car, is it clear? You know, so like in the studio world, engineers get credit, but in the general public, bro, people don't know what we do. Mm-hmm. People hear a song and they like the lyrics and.
What's something you wish people understood more about it?
That it takes time. You know, I do work quick, but a lot of people just don't know that like some mixes can take weeks. Yeah. You know, and it might not happen on the first try. And it's the same with recording, bro. Like people on the outside hear a song and they think shit was done in one take. Like that's not. We might have spent 4 hours recording this song because we're trying to get it perfect. So yeah, it's a process, and you know, people just gotta trust the process. That's really what it is.
So what do you think separates like an average engineer from a great?
I think being able to take criticism, and in the sense of like I'm experimental with some of my mixes. Like I'll sit here and I'll just try stuff out, and I feel like an average engineer might do something and the artist doesn't like it, and they might have their ego hurt a little bit, or they might be married to the idea, but it's not their song. You know, it's the artist's song, and it's the artist's vision, and it's our job to make sure that the vision happens. So being able to work with people, being able to like hear no and move forward, and honestly, just having the ear for it, because like as a mixer, I hear where I want my mix to go while we're recording. So I'm like mentally just jotting down notes on what I want to do and where I want to go. But yeah, understanding that it's not like I have, I guess, authority in what I say, but I don't have the final say. Yeah. It's not my song, but I'm working on it, so I want to make sure I'm doing my best. Yeah. You know, yeah, just being able to work with people. It's really important. Like people have the vision, and sometimes they're really particular on that vision. And
I understand, because I'm particular the same way. So
I think Ali was talking about it. Like he's really particular about how he likes his sound, and we'll revisit the same song 4, 5, 6, 7 times until it's exactly like he wants it. Yeah. And some people might get annoyed with that, and other people, like myself, will just take that and we'll make those fine tunes.
Was there a point in time where you noticed you went from like a good engineer to a great one?
So I had reached out to this guy I followed on Instagram. He's an engineer. But he also sings and plays instruments. But a lot of his content on Instagram is for engineers. Like, hey, next time you run into this issue, try this. And so I reached out to him and I was like, yeah, let me get some one-on-ones. Like, let's run through some stuff. And when I worked with him, I just got a different perspective on mixing. And I think it's also like engineers develop their own vocal chain and their own way to process the beat and the master and things like that. and you can't do that same chain of processing on every song.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna work on a rapper's vocals the same way I'm gonna work on a singer's. And so it's just learning those nuances, and then also knowing the tools that you have. Because I might use something on one song, and I try it on another song and it doesn't work. And it's like, okay, now let me go in my toolbox and see what's going to work for this. So it's knowing your tools, but it's also just like, can I execute the vision of what I want to do? And a lot of times that's where I think like a great engineer is good at. Like, they can hear it before it's done, and then they can just map out the road to that finished product.
What does a perfect session look like to you?
Honestly, it looks like motherfuckers getting here on time. And then just being prepared. Like, I love when people come to the studio and everything's already done. Like, they have the hook, they have the verse, they have everything. So we can just fly through songs. And let's say they book 2 hours. I've had people record 4 songs in the first hour, and then we mix 1 or 2 in the second hour. Because, like, end goal, I don't want to be a recording engineer, I want to be a mix engineer. And so anytime I get the opportunity to mix, like, that's where I feel most in my bag. And that's what makes sessions more fun for me. Not mad at just a recording session, but I feel like I don't get to get into the session. You know what I mean? Yeah, anything that I can mix, I feel good about. You know.
Has engineering taught you anything like that applies outside?
Yeah, bro, patience. Like, I've always been a patient person, but you know, like I was saying earlier, to get that perfect take or get that perfect sound, like, it takes time, and you can't rush it. You know, you have to trust the process of what you're trying to accomplish. And that's just anything with life, bro. Like, nothing's going to happen overnight. It takes time to develop. It takes time to learn. And then also, like, learn how to just talk to anybody. Because, like, the range of, like, personalities that I see is really wide. But I get that. I used to work at restaurants, so I'm dealing with hundreds of people every day. So I kind of had that skill set already, but it's just on a much more personal level.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like be a good people person, you know? I think that's really important.
How do you deal with artists that probably aren't people persons?
I think the same way, like I don't know, I don't want to say this. I compare the relationship of an engineer to an artist very similar to, like, a barber and a client. Like, if the client's talkative, cool, I'm going to talk and we're going to chop it up, and, you know. But if they're quiet and they just came to work and they just came to record and they're just going to sit back there while I mix, like, it's your world. It's your time right now, you know. So, yeah, it's not anything I take personally or, like, I'm offended by, but, like, I'm kind of an introvert myself. So if you don't want to talk, cool. Or if you do, we'll find something to talk about.
So what do you hope people say, like, about you overall as an engineer after they leave the session?
I want people to be happy with the product. I don't want people to feel like their time was wasted. Because that's something I learned when I was a producer going to sessions with other artists. It's like some engineers who, like, you know, they work slow and they're taking time out of the session to talk about things that aren't related to what's going on. So I want people to feel like they're getting their money's worth. And I also want people to feel like I put my best into the mix.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's not my song, but I'm the one who mixed it, and I don't want word of mouth to be like, oh, he was bullshitting on that. Yeah. And then that spreads, and I just want to do good work. I like working on music. I want to put my best foot forward, because why wouldn't I? You know? And so that's what I think I want people to just feel when they leave. Like, all right, cool, I'm happy with how this session went.
What does success look like to you? And would you classify yourself as successful?
I think success is different to every person. At least in my eyes, like, the goal was always to be able to sustain my life through music and pay my bills through music. And I've done that. And so in that sense, I am successful in what I do. But I think it's really easy to compare ourselves to people who are at higher levels, like people who are mixing for Kendrick or J. Cole. Like, I could look at that and be like, damn, I'm not successful because I'm not there yet, and that's where I want to be. But at the end of the day, bro, you got to look around and just appreciate what you have.
Right.
Like, I have a beautiful studio, and I'm not working another job. I'm just 10 toes in the studio, and like, that's a blessing, you know. So in that sense, I'm successful in what I do.
What do you think makes an artist trust an engineer?
I think if the artist truly feels like they're on the same page as the engineer, and they can, like I said, accomplish what they want to or get the goal done, they're gonna have a lot of trust. But also, like I said earlier, I get kind of experimental and I do some weird stuff in some of my mixes, and people like the fact that I throw ideas out and I'm not just like a yes man engineer, you know. I think it takes the engineer being truthful. Like, bro, did that take sound good? It didn't, bro. You got to do it again. Say it clearer. Okay, bet. You know, just being honest and transparent. Because respect and trust, that's a two-way street. You know, so to build that, you have to put in.
I know you moved into this spot recently. Mm-hmm. This was a big move, but do you have anything coming up in the future?
Right now, I think it's just continuing to build here. Like, there's on a smaller scale, like there's more decorations we want to do to the space and make it feel more completed. But long term, like, yeah, we want to get some high-end gear and build a fire studio. Like, of course, that's the goal. But on a day-to-day, it's just like, how can I be better than I was yesterday? And if that's switching up how I record, or that's switching up how I mix or how I master, like, I want to do those little things. Because I'm really big on research and I'm really big on learning, because I'm sure you know, in video work and photography, like, bro, there's so much that we don't even know that we don't know.
Right.
You know, so it's just humbling yourself and knowing that you're not the best and there's always new things to learn. I think that's like what drives me to get better, and that's what's going to drive like my ideas for the space too. Like, how can I upgrade space, sound, style? But yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Chase_Briley, Briley, at smallcitystudios. I don't really do shit outside of Instagram, so just get on the gram, bro. Type in my name. I'm gonna be there. Lock in for a session. Yeah, we'll work on some music.